Hi, Bobby Chasin here again. I wanted to talk to you about the body mass theory, and I wanted to share with you a little video, a story basically that I have about how did I develop the body mass theory, which is a mind-body technique to losing inches naturally, not using dieting or restricting your food intake and not eating foods you love to eat. Um, Basically, when I was 16 years old, I had diabetes. And I was in the hospital for about a week doing all kinds of tests. And my doctor came into my room one morning and said, "You have diabetes," which meant you can't have sugars anymore. And I thought, well, that's not okay. I'm a 16-year-old. I like Twinkies. So anyway, I wasn't supposed to have sugars anymore. He put me on a particular diet where I had food exchanges. I could exchange this food for that food. I had to weigh my food. I had to measure my food, and I had to take insulin every day. So I was on this diet for about, maybe a year and a half, something like that. And I thought, wait a minute, this is not going to work. I mean, I didn't have diabetes. Now I have diabetes. Let's get back to not having diabetes. How do we do that? So I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and I didn't have a computer. We didn't have computers back then, so like we do today. So I went to the library and I studied all about the pancreas and diabetes and blood sugar, and it basically came down to the cell. Cellular, we are a mass of cells. And it came down to the cell, so I broke the cell down. Okay, the cell is a nucleus. The nucleus has an enzyme. The enzyme is a protein. And I figured, there you go. I'm going to eat more proteins and no sugars, of course, I can't have them, but no carbohydrates and no fats. And so I ate for about a year and a half. I was very, very strict and very religious about it. I would eat just proteins, meats, and vegetables. And I did that, and I exercised as well. And I used some envisioning techniques when I was exercising to tell my body to start manufacturing good functioning cells that would produce insulin. And every time I ate good food like meats and vegetables, I would tell my body, I'm feeding you good food so that you can manufacture good cells that will function properly and regulate the blood sugars and create insulin in my body again, manufacture it naturally, so I don't have to take the synthetic insulin. Anyway, I did that for about a year and a half, and one time, about a year and a half later, I was taking my insulin, and about a half hour after I took it, I was in major pain in my stomach. I was just bowled over with pain, and I didn't know what it was. And anyway, I let it go. The next day I took insulin again, and I was bowled over in pain again. I was like really in pain. And I remember reading in my research that if you have an overabundance of insulin, that you're going to have a lot of pain because you have too much insulin in your body. So I went ahead and on my own, I stopped taking insulin. I was kind of scared to do it, but I did it anyway. I stopped taking insulin one day and I was just fine. I didn't have any pain and I was feeling pretty good. But the next day I thought I didn't want to have an attack and I didn't want to have, any kind of problem with diabetes. So I took my insulin like I was supposed to, and I was again bowled over in pain. Just really, it really hurt. So the next day I got off the insulin. I didn't take the insulin and I was fine. That made me believe that my pancreas started to remanufacture good cells that had insulin, that produced insulin in me again. I went to the doctor and told the doctor that I don't think I have diabetes anymore. Now, I was 18 years old when this happened. Went to the doctor, told him I didn't have diabetes anymore, I didn't think. And I needed a blood test. And he said, "Why do you think you don't have diabetes anymore? I told you you'd have it for a lifetime. You'd have it for the rest of your life." And of course, I didn't want to argue with him. I didn't want to tell him anything. I just said, well, I haven't been feeling well and it's my stomach and I just wanted to get a blood test to make sure I'm okay. So he said, all right, well, you have diabetes. Don't worry about that. You've got diabetes. Maybe there's something else wrong. We'll take the blood test. So he gave me a blood test. He was gone for like a half hour. Finally, he came back into the room. He was white as a ghost. He looked at me like I'm some kind of alien. And he said, "You don't have diabetes anymore." And I thought, duh. But I couldn't say that to him. I was 18 years old and he's a doctor. And you're supposed to respect your elders and respect doctors and whatever. So I just, I just sat there and went, yeah, okay, right. I don't have diabetes. He said, "What have you been doing?" He says, "Have you been on my diet? Have you been doing everything I told you to do?" And I said, yeah, right, yeah. Now, I was raised to not lie, but I was also raised to not hurt people's feelings. So I had to weigh, what was I going to tell him? Was I going to lie and tell him that, yeah, I stayed on your diet so that I wouldn't hurt his feelings? Or would I hurt his feelings and say, "No, man, the way you have me do it, I'd still be diabetic at the age of 80. And I'm not 80, of course. But I mean, I would still be, I'd still have diabetes. So I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So I said, I thought, I will lie to him and I will not hurt his feelings. So I said, yeah, I stayed on your diet. Yeah, everything I did, everything you told me to do, I did. And that's what happened. Anyway, got away from that. Years later, I'm way overweight, 240 pounds. My waist was 44 inches. I wanted to get back into the dating world again. But I thought, who is going to want this? I don't want this. What guy is going to want this? I don't, I have to lose weight. I got to do something. I got to lose weight. How do I lose weight? How can I, when I'm 17, 18 years old, how can I lose a diabetes or get rid of diabetes, but I can't lose weight? It didn't make any sense to me. You would think that losing weight would be so easy. Well, yeah, you go on diets and you lose weight a little bit and whatever, but it's rigid and restrictive, and you can't eat this and you can't eat that, and you can only eat this much and you can only eat this much. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to starve anymore. And I didn't want to hurt myself with dieting. I was yo-yo dieting all the time. So I thought, if I can get rid of my own diabetes, you would think that I could get rid of my own weight. So I decided to take some of the concepts that I used when getting rid of diabetes to get rid of weight. One of the things I used while getting rid of diabetes was I used envisioning techniques as well, which every time I would work out, when I had diabetes, I was a teenager, I would work out and I would imagine Pac-Man coming into my pancreas and eating all the bad cells that weren't functioning correctly and weren't manufacturing insulin and spitting it out. So the sweat that I would have after working out was Pac-Man spit. I'd run upstairs and shower and get it all off me so that it wouldn't reabsorb into my skin. And then every time I ate meat and vegetables, I was telling my body, I'm eating good food for you, proteins that you need to help manufacture good functioning cells with insulin in them so that you can feed my body insulin and help me regulate my sugars naturally. Well, I took some of those concepts and I used them to lose inches. And what I did was I came up with what I call the body mass theory. But I also added to that the listening to your body tell you what it needs and how much it needs, and letting your body decide for you. Your body tells you it's hungry. And if your body is designed to tell you it's hungry, it should be designed to tell you what kind of nutrients it needs. Does it need proteins, fats, sugars, carbohydrates, a combination of? And your body should allow you to feed it what it needs and tell you what it needs. Well, it does. And in the book, in the body mass theory, I go through all the different steps that I have, 5 different steps. I explain it in detail, every step, how to do it and why to do it. And it helped me I lost 11 inches in 12 months. using the body mass theory, using these mind-body techniques. You know, we're all special. You're very special. There's only one of you in this whole world. There is no one other than you. No one shares your DNA. No one shares your looks. You are the only one that looks exactly like you do. No one shares your personality. No one shares your characteristics. Yeah, there are similarities, but they're not the same. You are special in your own way. You are unique. We are all unique. We are one and one only. And your body and your mind are very powerful. You are a powerhouse. Using your mind and body to lose inches is all you need to do. You don't need diets. You don't need to restrict your intake of food. You don't need to not eat the foods you love to eat. You have the right to eat the foods you love to eat. I have that right. You have that right. Everybody has that right. Why eat if you don't want to eat? You don't want to eat salads all the time, but salads are good. So if your body wants a salad, you eat a salad. But it's up to your body to tell you that. I'm going to have other videos, posted to my YouTube channel. But for now, I just wanted to tell you that there was a reason why I developed the body mass theory, and there's a reason why you work just as you are. Your mind and body works for you. You're all you have. So you need to put faith in yourself, trust your body, and do the techniques in the body mass theory. This is a very powerful theory. And it's a very powerful book, and you're a very powerful person. Your mind and body, you are a powerhouse. And if you use your mind and body to lose inches, you lose it naturally, and you don't have to diet and starve yourself anymore. Anyway, if you have any comments or questions, good comments, not the bad ones, if you have any good comments or questions you want to ask me, put it in the comments in the video here, underneath the video. And please like and subscribe to my channel, because there will be other videos coming out. You can get the book, by the way, at Amazon.com, Xlibris.com, and BarnesandNoble.com. And in Xlibris.com, Xlibris.com, you can get this book for $3.99, the ebook, for $3.99. If you can afford a Big Mac, you can afford the book. So get the book, read it, see what you think about it, and I'm here for questions and answers if you want to leave comments, and I will answer them the best I can. Good luck, and I will talk to you next time.